Hey there, folks. Welcome to another edition of Stranger in a Southern Land. I, of course, am your host, Jake Manning. Today in the program, we have local comedian Blayr Nias. Me and Blayr were trying to figure out when we're going to sit down and conduct this interview and where we were going to do it. And then finally, the mega powers collided, if you will. And they collided here in the home studio that I erected for myself and for you, the viewers and listeners of the podcast. So I'm pretty excited for you guys to listen to this and see this interview for that reason also as well. But also, too, Blayr is just a wonderful individual. She was on the path, folks, of being a normal human being. And then she just took a left turn into comedy, and she's made quite a career for herself. She's a very, very, very funny woman, very talented, but also, too, she's a promoter of local comedy shows. So she's a big supporter and promoter for local comedy. So she's doing a lot of good things for the comedy scene here in Charlotte, as well as herself. But anyway, speaking of comedy and shows, I will be performing at the Charlotte Comedy Zone on Sunday, May the 31st, which is one of those fight night competitions. So make sure you come out for that, because I will need all the support I can get, because I'll be fighting other local comedians. So maybe if I get the body slam, I might have a chance to win. But really, I'm going to be telling jokes, so I won't be body slamming anybody. But if I body slam, I might have a shot. But I'll be telling jokes. So I'm going to need all the support I can get on Sunday, May the 31st, for the Fight Night competition at the Charlotte Comedy Zone here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Also, too, make sure you follow me on Twitter at ManScoutManning and follow me on Instagram at ManScoutManning. Also, too, make sure you like the Stranger in a Southern Land podcast on Facebook. If you just look up Stranger in a Southern Land, of course, the podcast Facebook page will pop up. Also, too, make sure if you have any questions about the podcast, that you email me at jake@sslshow.com. And if you want to book me for an upcoming wrestling show, make sure you email me at manscoutmanning@yahoo.com. But without further ado, with no more plugs to say, let's now jump into this interview with local comedian Blayr Nias here on Stranger in a Southern Land. But anyways, like I said, there's a nice flowery intro, so we can just jump right in and have a conversation.
Okay, cool. All right, I like that.
Yeah, exactly. So
All
we don't have no pressure. I don't have to give some introduction, because I hate to look like an idiot.
So you are, yeah.
So you are. Oh, crap. Oh, already. And then I got to do like 5 takes just to do an intro. Because usually when I do an intro, I call it the hour that I just lock myself in this room. I just beat the crap out of myself mentally.
The hour that you do intros. Yeah.
For a 2-minute intro,
I hear you. No, it's like my voicemail on my phone. I'm like, oh, that sounded awful. That sounded awful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just an hour of that. Last night it was only 40 minutes, so I was pretty happy about that.
Trying to do intros. I had to do that when they call me for the radio for other cities. Mm-hmm. They're like, can you just say like, hey, this is Blayr and I'll be at the Comedy Zone this weekend. And they're like, I always screw something up. I'm like, it's the Cellar on Main at 7:30. They're like, actually, it's 8:30. Can we do it again? It's like, it'll be at Main Cellar at 8:30. Yeah, you said Cellar. I'm in. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I've got the same problem. But like, I had like one of my best intros. I just got the date wrong. I completely blanked on it. And
this is cool. I like hearing myself in my ears.
Yeah. See.
All right. Okay. So I know what I sound like all day. I would talk less, I think.
It's okay. Nobody wants to hear you. They just want to hear me talk. Yeah, like that's exactly
awesome.
Yeah, no, actually,
cool.
No. It's quite that. I was making a joke, and nice to know that my comedian picked up on my humor. So.
Yeah, I did. I like that. That's
okay.
Good.
All right, but anyways, Blayr, thank you so much for coming to my home studio. You're the first person in the home studio.
Oh, cool. I like it. It's
kind of I made it look as professional as possible.
It does. It actually looks probably a little better than some of the stages I've been on recently. I have fallen through in high heels at least 4 stages. Like, not my foot through it like a comic movie, but like there was just holes and wooden, these shady setups they have. So it was like, and they just threw up a shower curtain or something. But this actually looks like a backdrop, and it's promoting it.
It looks like I tried.
Yes, exactly.
It looks like I tried.
There you go.
So that's the important thing. But anyways, Blayr, you've probably done a couple of these, so you know the scenario. We have to cover your life story in an hour or less.
I've done less than I'd like to.
Really?
This might be my 5th or 6th time doing like a podcast / interview situation. Okay. So yeah, I'd like to do more. It's fun. My life. Well, actually, as a friend of mine, Nikki, who I just got off the phone with, she said you're born a comic. You know, you might be able to do a million other things, but certain things, you're definitely that person that's always been funny. Not necessarily the class clown, but definitely the most entertaining. 8th grade, I was there was like the year 2020 little things they do at the end of the year, like what everyone will be up to, and I was going to be a dancing gymnast comedian.
Wow.
So
that's quite a niche market.
I know. I kind of grew a foot, so the whole gymnast thing was out, you know.
Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah.
that was you had to be so short.
Yeah, and I started menstruating, so that whole thing was just no good. It's like, you have to just be a tiny box girl that's like too thin to menstruate. You've already got menstruating into the podcast already. I'm so excited.
Take a drink, everybody at home. There you go.
I didn't see it coming, but it did. Yeah. And then, yeah, just I was always involved in theater and writing and performing in some way, whether it was dancing or whatever. And got to college, I got to do some improv and
like everybody did. It seemed like
yeah.
In college.
And I did some. I started my own theater group, did some directing and all that kind of stuff. And then I got to the real world, and it wasn't easy to land those jobs or make money doing them.
Yeah.
So if I got published, I didn't really get any money for it. If I got, cast, I didn't get money for it. And I was like, all right, real world. So I went into promotional marketing and sales, and I still got to interact with the public and be fun. And that's how I made my sales, is making someone laugh.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Just sell myself.
I'm in the same market as well. And sometimes it's...
If I'm going up to I'm got one of my first awful jobs when I got out of school. I was doing like cold call sailing door to door for office supplies, and I was doing really good money. So I had to be... I'm still a Yankee. Like I only been here 1 year. I still had a really fast accent talking to lawyers in Waxhaw, and they're like, well, I don't know what you just said. I was like, buy all my office supplies. That's what I said. Buy some.
Yes, please.
So, I just did that, and I just started burning out, and I got to I guess around 27, and I was like, all right, I got to make a life change. So I dumped the boyfriend, and then I quit the job, and I went wild for 6 months, maybe 4 to 6 months. Got some world experience.
Every girl's got to have that 6 months.
Oh yeah, it was a great 6 months. I don't regret any of it. It was, at the time, all those horrible, scary things and crazy nights seemed like, I'm like, oh man, I'm really being a waste of space. But now it's like, oh, great material for the movie I write later.
Exactly.
And I met a guy, Zach Claywell, who I will totally shout out and tag this podcast later too, because he'll put it on his little blog, LOLCLT. That's what it is. Too many L's in that. He writes about all the funny stuff that happens in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. He was like, hey, you should... I was just hitting on him, and I think he might have been hitting on me, but he basically invited me to an open mic the next night. He's like, you should do this. You're really funny. And then I realized later I hadn't said anything funny. So, yeah, I think Zach was hitting on me. That's cool.
Yeah. That would be a clear indication.
But I was so inspired that somebody thought that I was funny and thought that I should do an open mic. It was like saying, you've got talent, that I spent the next 8 days writing a 5-minute set and rehearsing it endlessly, and drank almost all the alcohol in the world to get on stage.
Because that'll make everything better and funnier.
I don't drink a lot when I get on stage now. I have a few, but I had to really get over that stage fright for the first time, and got off stage, killed it, and everyone was saying, how long have you been doing comedy? We've never seen you before. And I was like, oh, it was my first time. And they were like, what? So they literally said it like that.
Just like that, yeah.
And so that's where it began. I just had some really supportive people in the local scene kind of helping me get opportunities to keep furthering my stage time, and I was really aggressive about it too, because I was like, I found something I'm good at and I like doing it. Mm-hmm. And it just took off running from there, and started my own shows, started touring, and who knows what the future holds. Any and everything.
But before we get to the future, where you got the present, you said you were a Yankee. So where are you originally from?
Well, I was born in Harlem Hospital. So my parents are from New York, but then my mom was like, New York is super dangerous. Let's not do this. Mm-hmm. So she moved me to the land of endless white people, and and I mean endless. So we were in North Central Massachusetts, in Worcester there. Mm-hmm. And I was there until college. So I didn't think I had an accent, But when I got to school in DC for college, they were like, "Oh my God, you sound like a Kennedy." But yeah, that's where, ironically, I'm from a city that's Boston's very well known for lots of amazing comics like Louis C.K. and Stephen Wright and Patrice O'Neill, and I never even got a chance to do comedy there yet. I'm hoping to go back this summer. I'm going to do something at the Boston Improv, maybe, but we'll see.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You're like, wow, I was this close to all this going on.
Yeah. And even in New York, too, I still went back and forth to New York to visit. My parents were divorced. I was around all this, like, comedy. I went to school with TJ Miller in GW. So I was around a lot of little moments that I missed the whole way. Just, I was like, I don't know. I never thought of actually really doing stand-up. When someone said stand-up comedian, I thought they would put me on SNL, like to be an actor.
Yeah, because it's like when you're young and you're trying to figure out those things. Well, obviously, I just got to. All of a sudden, Lauren Michaels shows up, puts me on SNL.
Yeah. I literally, I would imagine it was like, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Blayr Nias, and I'd be like,
they just saw me. They saw me. I was funny.
Thank you so much. Since I was a little girl, I dreamed of being on this show. I used to practice it. And I was like so excited about that. And I remember I even had to audition for improv in high school and college by doing a stand-up set or just something kind of just funny monologue riffing. And I still didn't click for me.
See, and that's the weird thing when you find that thing you were almost meant to do.
Yeah,
you'd been doing it all along.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been writing comedy at least since I'd say 7th grade. I've been writing funny sketches and monologues and performing it for my family or my friends, and I have little clubs and stuff. But yeah, I never saw that as like, this is not a real job.
Yeah, because Lauren Michaels hasn't showed up and put me on.
No,
SNL
he hasn't.
yet.
Right? I had no idea how I was going to get to SNL, but I figured it would happen at some point.
But anyways, from there, you said you went to college and promotional stuff. Where'd you go to college?
George Washington University.
Oh, of course.
So yeah, so we have some pretty cool people, alumni. We have Alec Baldwin. And we have Kerry Washington from Scandal and everything else. And we have TJ Miller. And he's actually going to be at the Comedy Zone like sometime in June, I think. It's June or July.
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah, they just started advertising. So
just one night only. So I'm excited. I'm going to run up to him and be like, hey, guess what I do? Because I totally knew him for a second. We were in sister brother fraternity and sororities. So it was Phi Sigma Sigma and Phi Sigma Kappa. So lots of penises being drawn on faces and late nights drinking shitty beer. Obviously. But anyways, from being a Yankee, how do you end up in the South? How does that happen? Everybody has a story because everybody in Charlotte's from someplace else. Yeah. Well, my mom forever, since we moved to Massachusetts, it took her like just a couple of years to be like, I need to get out of here. It's too much snow. It took her a lot of time to get out of there, but she was like, I'm never going to. This is not where I want to be forever. So when I moved to school in DC, she moved down south to Charlotte, and my aunt's here, and they're like, the weather's great, and it's a growing metropolis. You guys gotta come here. It's awesome. We're getting old. We don't want to be somewhere where the temperature drops lower than our age. And so I graduated, and I was like, okay, I could stay in DC and work either on Capitol Hill or for one of the research industries here because I'd interned. Or I can go home and live for free and not have to work for a minute and figure out life. And so I came to Charlotte, and I was just, what a reality check.
Yeah.
Like I say now, and when I have bits on stage, they should stop you at the border, like Northern Virginia, and they're like, "You carrying any contraband, such as unsweet tea or books on evolution?"
Yeah, it's such a weird you think it's America, it's all the same.
It really isn't.
Because I came from the Midwest, and it was just completely.
And see, I haven't even been out there yet. I really want to. I mean, I've been to perform, but I haven't really been out in the city to experience the people. I've been to Detroit and Chicago, but I didn't really talk to people. Oh, in Milwaukee. I didn't really. Yeah. It just people came to the show and I was like, see you later. But yeah, it's just people opening doors for me. I've literally almost been clotheslined because I tried to open a door and they're like, you will not open that door. And just having more ass and hips and all that is a good thing down here. Women are skinny, oh, she's too skinny. They're they make fun of you up north. They're like, you can't get skinny enough. They're like, oh God, I hope I get mono. And just that whole good old boy mentality.
And super curious too. When they hear a different accent, they will literally grab you and stop you. Like, where are you from?
I know. I hear it all the time, and I think I've been getting lazy in talking more mass lately. I don't know, if it's because just been inebriated or whatever, and just kind of slurring. But they start hearing like, hey, because for a while I went to I performed in Cleveland, and someone said, hey, where are you from? And I was like, oh, Massachusetts. And they go, no, you sound North Carolina, like Asheville, Charlotte. And I was like, whoa, uh-oh. I got freaked out. I was like, am I getting an accent? Am I going to be a Southerner now?
Because y'all will sneak up on you. That'll get put in your
Y'all will too.
Very quick.
And dropping G's, like going, is a little bit more.
Yeah,
it's like a fixing to. You can't just up and do something. You gotta be fixing to do it. I think the biggest cultural shock for me was the food, because just like people. I mean, I come from a family of people will feed you, but they're bad down here. Like I lived when I first got here near a Krispy Kreme and like a Bojangles and a what was the other one I used to go to all the time? The Sunnies. It was like on 3 corners, and I was like, I've never seen all these wonderful treats. There's pork, there's fried chicken, and there's donuts. And I gained like 20 pounds in 3 months. And I was like, all right, let's figure out this. So now I try to work out a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Or just eat one piece of chicken, not the whole.
The whole thing. But anyways, you moved down here, try to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
You know, and then you were on the right path.
Yeah.
And then there's the deviation.
Yeah.
What do you think that deviation was? You're just like, you know,
men or a relationship. I got into this 5.5-year relationship that just like shut down. I was like, I want to play house. Like every girl kind of wants to do that for a while. Like I was gonna be like, I'm going to be in a relationship and I'm going to make him little meals and we're going to plan about a house and the kids.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's what they program us to be.
Yeah, you know, and I was like, you know what? I kept walking around like, can you please leave? Someone wants to date me. Like, this is crazy. And it wasn't just exactly low self-esteem. I just knew how much of a monster I was. It's like, that's what happens when you're like a spoiled brat. Like my dad's like, you're a princess. I had the different daddy issues. He's like, you're a princess. You're never wrong. And no man can ever tell you anything. And I was like, all right.
I can get behind all this.
And my mom was like, you're amazing, you're so smart. And so I just walked around like, I'm not shit. And so finally realized that was annoying. And someone else actually wanted to date me. But that was such a, geez. If that's ever a chapter in my book, it'll be a thick one. we were the worst for each other. It was nonstop fighting craziness every day. Just... So when that finally ended, the last straw pulled, that's when I started being like, I can find what I want to do with my life again and be creative. And yeah, I don't think I did anything creative for 5 years. Like it was just a gap.
Because
like,
it seemed like you were very creative as a kid.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
we just had an Oprah moment. I just realized that, like, I mean, I might go to concerts, and I think I went to see 2 comedy shows. He knew I liked comedy. I remember that. He wasn't a total dick, I guess. Yeah. He took me to see Mike Birbiglia and Jim Gaffigan for birthdays at Blumenthal. Yeah, I was still a fan, but I was like, oh, that's for the lucky people that get to be artists, you know.
They went to that secret door.
Yeah, I knew I had
become a comedian.
You know, because the world keeps telling you have to make money.
Yeah.
So you don't ever always think about, can I make money and do what I love? Mm-hmm. You know, I made money what I was good at. I'm an amazing salesperson. I just hated my job. It was too much stress. Like I could sell ketchup popsicles to women in white gloves. Definitely, just very salesy. That's my whole family though. Yeah. They're just like they'll light up your smoke, quick with a joke and a light of your smoke. That's the whole Nias clan. It's good though. It works out for like winning people over. Mm-hmm.
So anyways, you goaded into doing this open mic.
Yes.
You're going to start this, like, what were your thoughts? Were you trying to talk yourself out of it? Obviously, you knew you had to drink a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
What were you writing down? And what were you, like, what do I want to say? What do I want to do jokes? Or how do I want to structure
If I hadn't practiced it as much as I had, it would have been a train wreck. I can say that. I remember I met Zach. That was when did they have that open mic? Is it still on Thursdays? I think I met him on a Wednesday, and then he's like, tomorrow night's the open mic, and I was like, there's no way I'm ready for one day. Mm-hmm. So I took the whole next week, and I was like, they said it's 5 minutes, and so I was walking around the house, and I was unemployed at the time, still riding that unemployment too. Yeah. And I was writing. and talking stuff out. And then I remember my neighbors must have thought it was crazy because I'd walk out in the backyard and just kind of talk up to the trees. And I'd been writing a little bit before that, you know, like I was just starting getting creative again, like probably for about 6 months, but I was always thinking of I could write jokes for someone, which is funny now because I write a couple jokes occasionally for my boyfriend. Like I'll punch something up. I don't full on write it, and he does the same for me. Like we'll have the premise, the other one will punch it up a little bit. I throw some out to my friends and stuff like that. But I always thought that I would be the person that writes jokes for someone because I can't say on stage very well a jokey joke that I write. It's not as comfortable for me. For me, it's more freestyle storytelling with punches, intermittent. So the first set I did really was just writing jokes. So it's interesting that was so successful for me, but I practiced it. I must have done like 2 or 3 hours a day on a 5-minute set for like 7 days. Like it was polished. I just talked about how my ass once caused a car accident. I haven't done that joke since that night, I think. Like this guy was trying to holler at me driving by, and then he was not looking forward and he crashed into somebody. So I was like, that's how amazing it is. And I talked about how I accidentally started dating someone because I got snowed in at their house.
Okay.
It was a one night stand that turned into like a week relationship because I couldn't leave. So that was kind of funny. And how my mom is obsessed with me having babies. And how gross guys are when they're single. I don't really. I wish I had that set. I knew a friend recorded it, but it's like just disappeared. But yeah, I was just really polished because I'd practiced the crap out of it. But yeah, I'd had like 3 or 4 Jim Beams and a bottle of wine.
Good on you for still remembering your set after
Yeah,
that.
I was all dressed up. I had my hair and makeup done. And then like after I started doing open mics, I turned into a boy and just wore flannel shirts and hoodies and skinny jeans every day.
All right, this is what I wrote this week.
And then I got to that next level where I started hosting and getting professional jobs, like not just open mics and stuff. And I remember the owner of the club was like, you should do something about this. Like you should maybe brush your hair or wear a dress. And so I started doing that. And I realized I could do my storytelling more and I could be a lot more comfortable and push the edge. Not necessarily dirty, but play with the line. And people would be like, oh, but she's adorable. Look at she's wearing a pink dress. She doesn't mean it. That abortion joke was a joke. It was a joke, right? Sort of. All right.
Yeah.
Plan B is not abortion. Anyway, so, but yeah, it was kind of fun because it was like that first time was not necessarily really who I was, but I knew that I got bit. I had the bug. And I say it to people now whenever they're asking me about, how I want to get into comedy. I see people after shows or even at convenience stores like that. Somehow comedy will get brought up, which I hate bringing up. And they'll say, how do I get into this? I'm like, just go to an open mic and maybe you'll have fun. Maybe you'll suck. Bring some of your friends out to support you. And you will probably know within the first 30 seconds to a minute, you get that bug. And I'm sure there's people that have sucked their first time and then gone on to still be better. But not a lot.
Yeah, but not without
most celebrities
work.
that I've asked about their first time, they're like, oh yeah, it was awesome. I'd already been ready for that for years. I just didn't know it. And I was like, yeah, all right, well. Yeah. Good to hear that from me, but other people that aren't doing so well, I'm sure they hate hearing that.
Yeah, of course. It's like, oh, it sucked, and it just had to work. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you just had to work from that moment on.
Oh, I worked so hard. After that, it was something. When you like something, you enjoy doing it, you practice it. I liked the drums in high school, so I practiced them a lot, I liked dancing, and so I choreographed stuff, and I started little dance groups, and I did that. When I cared about something, I did it. I hated the piano, so so now I can play like heart and soul. That's it. Sure. I loved comedy, and opportunities being presented to me that I was ready for. There's nothing worse than someone saying, the host is sick. I know we only had you doing a guest spot, but are you ready to host this show? And you're like, I only have this much time, or I'm not ready for this, or I'm scared. So it's the being ambitious and having that opportunity presented as great, but you really have to be prepared for it, which is why I'm kind of getting on myself now about trying to write more and in more different genres. Because I don't want to go to somewhere where they say, oh, there's a whole bunch of octogenarians and they want a totally clean show. You need 30 minutes, go.
Okay, so the Plan B joke is out.
You know what? Honestly, you could do a rape or an abortion joke for old people. They'll still laugh at that. They don't like drug jokes.
Okay.
Which is weird. It's like they still feel like it's not okay. unless they're like, Cheech and Chong age and hippies and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely, the worst was I showed up to a cancer, a race for Relay for Life. And there was me and another comic and then a hypnotist. And so I was opening and I got up there. And is it a grade school? Is it an elementary school? But I was like, we're going up at midnight. There won't be any kids there.
Yeah.
There were so many kids there. They were doing cartwheels and sitting up front with their legs crossed and they're all ready for the show. And I'm supposed to do 15 minutes. And it was like my first year in. And I was like, I'm looking at my set and it's like anal sex, rape. And I was like, all right, let's change this topic right now. Let's figure this out. I got through it. I did well. And so I knew I had some stuff I was toying with that I could go into. And I kind of messed with the audience and made fun of their parents and stuff. And I was like, parents say you can't stay up past 10 o'clock. It's a weeknight, but we're doing something for charity and you guys get to stay up till midnight. So basically I'm telling you all to become philanthropists. It's like, oh no, Mom, we're walking for diabetes this week. We get to stay up and walk around the neighborhood. It's like, you guys just figure out how to get this thing going. And I was talking about cereals and stuff like that. Anything I could think of because I wasn't ready to talk to children.
Except for maybe yelling at them, like, why are you guys still up? You should be in bed right now.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was really funny. Oh, it was crazy.
So from the open mics, and anybody can just go up and do that. What was your first opportunity past that? Because I mean, you do these open mics for a while.
Yeah.
How do you get from the open mics to actually performing in a club to something that kind of seems a little bit more viable as opposed to writing your name down on the list?
No, I'm trying to think. It's kind of a blur because that whole period was a little bit of a mix. I think several things happened kind of at the same time. A friend of mine who just happened to be a bar owner in South Charlotte moved his bar to there comes the mask coming out. Moved his bar to Noda, and we happened to just be going to Evening Muse to do an open mic there, but I was complaining about how it's a mixed format with music and people don't always want to go from a 10-minute guitar acoustic set with Hey There Delilah and then hear about me talking about my prom date history or something like that.
I did it on Monday night. It didn't go over well.
It's just, I mean, and a lot of comics love it because they get the 10-minute slot.
Yeah.
And that's rare for an open mic. Or there's something called a lightning round now where I guess they can do
like 5 minutes and then
a lot of comics together. But yeah, there could be you could be there 2 a.m. and
or you get the one person that gets thrown off stage and then 2 folk singers and then it's you.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard. But so I was walking back past it, the bar, and he was like, my brother is a big fan of comedy. We go see shows all the time in New York. That's so cool you're doing comedy now. Would you like a place to do it? And he gave me the opportunity to say, why don't you start your own open mic? And I would have never thought to do that. So that happened. That gave me more time to host an open mic because it was my open mic. Had experience with promoting and producing a show. Got to meet a lot of comics coming through and having people look for time and then I met Debbie Millwater, who is an angel among angels. I'm not sure even how I met her. Probably I came to the Comedy Zone to do. Must have emailed her or something. But there was a thing called a Main Stage Showcase. And that was on Wednesday nights, starting at 7 before whatever generic show. It wasn't anything too special. So they just as the room's filling up, you do time. And so I started on there just doing 3, 5, 7-minute spots, and then she saw that I was good, and then I started hosting that Main Stage Showcase, which gave me more time because I got to keep going up. And then there was that one night when the owner, I think so the feature of the show, of the professional show at 8 o'clock, got sick, so the host got to be the feature, and then they needed a host, and they were like, "You just did that Main Stage Showcase thing, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "That rape joke about your mom and stuff, that's funny." And I mean, no, she's not getting raped in a joke, just so you know. She's afraid I'm going to constantly. She's just on paranoid watch. He's like, "That's funny." And then Debbie was like, this face, and he's like, "All right, can you get up there? You do this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, and he walked away. And he's wearing track pants. And I don't know if you've ever met the owner of the Comedy Zone. Brian Efron does not care. And he's got a ball cap on. No, he had a do-rag, he was playing basketball, in a basketball jersey and track pants. And he just walks over "What?" And he looks kind of like a better looking Dave Attell, just disheveled. I don't give a fuck. And he walks out there and then he walks away and I go, "Who was that?" And she's like, "It's the owner of the Zone." And you've never heard him say anyone's funny ever or a joke. She's like, "You just got an awesome opportunity." And so that was the night that I got to start hosting. And then I got to host everywhere. And then I started begging to feature. And now I'm working on that headlining spot and still trying to maintain Almost Famous.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, you said you promoted your own shows and stuff like that, and I've been to one of them and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Just recently, that one with Todd and stuff like that.
I was taught. At Upstage. Yes.
Upstage, yes.
Okay, that was a good one. That one worked out. I'm glad you saw that one.
Yes, I saw that one. But anyways, you promote, like, how did that come in your mind? I mean, you could just focus solely on your stuff, but the idea of saying, okay, I need to promote my own shows and bring other people and include other people.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, I noticed a lot of comics out there, even when they're just open micing, some of them were like, hey, come see me. And I realized, what's awesome is when you have an audience. Because some of these open mics, especially now, the scenes for audiences.
Everybody's like
this. It's just comics, and you're lucky. And that's how you knew you were good. If it was just all comics open mic, and they'd either heard your joke before or they stayed inside and they didn't smoke break you. That's when I was like, oh, I'm good. I remember one time, one of those people I looked up to, Chesney Goodson, like, he was smoking and he heard me say something that was like really off the wall. He put a cigarette out and came in, and I was like, that's how I know it was a good joke. Because that's usually just all comics. And so, New York and stuff, open mics, people get that comedy is good, and you could see the next Bill Burr up there, so they come and they support. And but out here it's a little bit, it's growing. But when I first started, it was like awesome. And I would promote, and lots of people had lots of friends, and they would promote, and so it was an audience. It was like we were real people, real comics performing.
Yeah.
So I saw the power in telling people, because they can't always make it. They do want to see it, and now I'm more confident in the quality of the show I'm putting on.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad inviting you out. I'm like, everyone's going to be funny. I take a risk every once in a while, let someone have an opportunity, but pretty much it's nothing but a solid show. But yeah, with that opportunity, that first open mic I did, I realized he gave me a dead night. He's like, you can have the space, we have the sound system, we'll even give you discounts on drinks and stuff, but you have to get people here. So I learned from then, and I realized the more I got people coming out and the more I effectively appealed to certain comics to show up and have it more of a showcase than an open mic, the more I would still have that opportunity to perform. And then
You're still getting yours at the end of the day.
Yeah, and when I started Almost Famous 3 years ago, the only thing I wanted to do was, I was hosting for so long, or not long, but I thought I'd gotten good enough. You only have 5 to 10 minutes. I wanted them to see me do 15. So it started out as a competition where people that were hosts or just starting to feature did 15 minutes each, and then the audience would vote, and then the winner would go on to the finals. And after 5 shows at the finals, you'd have 5 people, and that winner would get a feature spot. And I was like, I'll start this show, and then I'll beat everybody.
I'll bring in a bunch of ringers.
and then I'll have a feature spot. Well, what happened was right after that first show, he saw me do 15 minutes, and he was like, all right, we'll give you a chance. So I was like, oh no, now I'm stuck with this show. And there's so many people out there that wanted the opportunity, and we're like, oh my gosh, we like this. And it's been building a fan base. And like I said, there's been a lot of people that just for the opportunity to be on that stage will travel. So we've gotten a lot of talent just outside of Charlotte, but all the way out to Knoxville and New Buffalo, people have come for the show. So it's kind of cool that, like, I didn't intend for it to be this big. I just wanted an opportunity to get more stage time.
Yeah, it always works out that way.
It's always about the stage time. I do enjoy promoting stuff, though. Social media makes it so easy.
Yes.
Just make a little Facebook event, invite a whole bunch of your friends. They're limiting that, though. They're limiting how many people you can invite to events now. Yeah, you can't just drop 2,500 people in and that's it. Yeah, which I never really did. I used to try to pinpoint who I think would come to something.
Yeah, because you want location. But
yeah, they you get Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You see people liking it, even if they don't come. They know about it. The awareness of, I know a lot of people that have been like, I've never seen your show, but I've heard about it, or I saw a write up in Creative Loafing, or a friend of mine was in it and said he did awesome and it was really funny. So just getting that awareness and that your brand out there. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's good. But what are some strategies you do to promote some of your shows other than just the social media? You get the promotional background, so and I've promoted shows in Charlotte.
I know.
So it's difficult.
It really is.
But the social media thing, like you said, you could just put the events and then
the most successful thing I think is to get as many people to, whether it is online or in real life, to network and get it into the different networks that I wouldn't normally get into. So this friend of mine, he has a band, I'm going to help him do some promoting for his shows because I'm not doing anything until the end of the month. And I'm sure he'll bring me up a couple of friends. So he brings 5 or 6 friends to a show because he knew I supported him. Mm-hmm. 1 or 2 of them might like it and keep coming back, tell someone in their office. Like it's little things I fall into little networking groups. So the easiest way to fill your seats is to either give away tickets and hope someone likes it and then they come back and pay the next time. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Comedy Zone's been doing for a long time. Or to unfortunately get the comedian that will bring out a bunch of people to see them. Mm-hmm. If you can get a bringer that is also talented, that is ideal. And so my favorite thing to do is to find someone who's new, who hasn't worn their friends out with numerous show requests and is really talented, and get them up there. Otherwise, I just want to have a good show, and I hope word of mouth and all the social marketing I've done will help. But yeah, you should see me day of. I don't put my phone down. Like I really had to put it on airplane mode for this because I know my show Almost Famous is 2 weeks away, and then I have another one that Sunday, the underwear comedies thing up at Upstage. Mm-hmm. And so I would just be like texting, like, hey, you should come out and bring your friends, and hey, I'll let you in free if you bring 5 people from the office, and just constantly trying to think of little business schemes. And the best thing is do a good show. Mm-hmm. That's the best marketing you can have, because again, that word of mouth. Because if you have a bad show, you can go see a band you hate and you're like, ugh, I don't like that reggae ska mix. But you can go see a comedian you hate and you're like, I hate comedy. That's what happens. I don't know why.
Like waste there.
I don't know why it happens like that. But you ask any comedian in the city and they've seen an audience member walk out of a show and they're like, well, I will never be back. Or I've heard someone say like, oh, you're a comedian, I don't like comedy. And I was like, well, what show did you see? What's the last thing you saw? It's like, I went to this open mic and this drunk guy was ranting for like 30 minutes. And I was like, okay, well, he was having a bad day.
Yeah.
Someone should have cut him off.
He was working through some stuff.
and he wasn't getting paid. He wasn't going in doing a professional job, you know. It's like asking your neighbor that sort of knows about computers to tinker with it as opposed to taking it to Best Buy. You know, like if you go see a professional show where they're getting paid, only occasionally will someone pull their balls out on stage.
Yeah, occasionally. In a rare case.
That was a total shout out to my friend Paul. Who's done it more than once. He's sober now, yay.
Yeah. And keeping his balls inside his pants.
Oh man, yes. Well, I don't know. At least on stage.
At least on stage. But anyways, when you talk about promoting the shows and stuff like that, and when you finding people and stuff like that, but you also have to book ahead, and then of course you have your own travel schedule that you are worrying about.
That's why I've got my calendar on me nonstop. I have the phone. I have 2 agendas. I have Google online as well, and my website, and I post stuff on Facebook to remind myself, even everyone else. But yeah, it's it gets a little busy, and it makes me a little nervous when I see it coming. I'm like, uh-oh. Like December was nuts. I did between Thanksgiving and January 15th, I did 11,000 miles on my car with touring. And some of that was vacation. Maybe like 300 of that was like going to Hilton Head. But yeah, just going or I've had days where I've done, I think the longest run I ever did was 13 straight days. Like it was like show, come home for a show that I produced, come home for a show that I produced. Show. Because
that was one of the things I noticed when we were trying to put this together. I was paying attention to where your schedule's at.
And I don't even put everything on the count. I'm totally behind. That's not even totally full.
Yeah, and I saw it, and I was like, okay, well, she's going to be out of town from Wednesday to Thursday, but she has a show on Tuesday. Yeah. And the next week she has a show. I'm like, wait, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
So that's a good week. That's when I have to make sure that when I'm home that I'm like, okay, you have to do laundry because I don't own that many clothes that I can wear on stage that I can just go like 14 straight days like that. And then what's rough is when I come back and I have a show. And I just decided now I am going to officially be the host of Almost Famous. That's one way I've been keeping my sanity with that, is that I book it out and I have plenty of requests, so it's not like I have to.
Because you have the connections, you can get the building. Then you just need somebody to host. And then
so I would just have someone host. I'd let a couple friends do some guest spots if they wanted to come into town or something like that. I'd put some features. I'd book now, not the competition, the headliner. And then I do all my promoting to try to get people in there. And then when I get there the night of, I have to make sure I get all the intros to the host and the sound cues up and make sure I'm talking to the GM that everything's okay about set times for everybody and how am I going to break up the pay at the end of the show. There's a lot of little cogs in the wheel there that even after 3 years, it's comfortable, but I don't feel like being funny after that. And so the last couple of shows, I've, had to host it, and I got up there and everyone was like, that was great. You did a really good set. There were new jokes I hadn't heard of. And I got on stage and I was just like shaking like a ghost. And I was like, that was so hard. Cause I can't
because you need that mental focus before you go out there and perform.
A zen moment.
Yeah,
at least.
Because you got to put that face on.
I love an hour. An hour is perfect before a show to just know I have my set list ready. And now for the next hour, I'm just going to be in a good mood.
So you feel prepared.
Because my set doesn't work without my energy and being happy. Like right now, I'm just being chill. I could not be like this on stage and tell jokes. People will be like, I don't like her. Like, she's too calm. When I get up there, it's kind of like Bobcat Goldthwait mixed with Jim Carrey energy, insanity. And it's tiring. You got to pace yourself a little bit now with the 30 minutes. That's why I'm worried about my hour. I'm going to drop dead. And the thing is that all comedians, and I never did this on a show day, they're supposed to sleep in late. Sleep at 10, sleep at 11 or noon. I'm up at 7:30. And then I know I have to be up until like midnight or 1, and it's stupid.
Well, because you got all this other stuff you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to plan it out that way, So.
And I think it was Doug Stanhope that said that that has it's like when I lay down at night, I have that circus. It's like dun, 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 circus, and I can't I can't shut it off. So then I'm up late and up early, and then needing to stay up late. So it's. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'd ideally love to just keep rocking out comedy now, write as much as I can, but diversify into different areas of the comedy entertainment business, like acting and I want to do something on Broadway one day. That would be great. Yeah. Some funny musical or something. I don't know if I can sing, but we'll figure it out.
Now, like as far as writing goes, do you have like a process that you do? Do you like to go someplace? Do you have to sit down in front of the computer, or is the situation like I'll do a little bit of laundry, then I sit down? Is there some
still developing it? Developing my process. I have a very eclectic way of going at it. Several different styles. Most frequently, I'm talking with a friend or my mom or my boyfriend, and something just pops out, and someone says, "That's funny," like that. Idea of what you just said, that's funny, and then I go, okay,
and then you turn into Russell Crowe from A Perfect Mind. The world is just connecting, and
if I'm able to, I run away and I talk it out and I finish the whole joke right then.
Yeah.
If I'm not able to, I write the premise down, I come back to it and talk it out. But I most successfully talk out my premises, and I'm like, oh, what if it was this and this and this, and is there a little wordplay I can do there? And now that I've been doing it a while, like, where can I stretch that so there be a connection to another joke, or make it even go longer? Because the longer chunks for me make me happy. I like to be like, oh, this is the joke I call McDonald's, and it's like 7 minutes, and that's all I need to remember is McDonald's, and then I have all that stuff that goes, because I don't know how people do these jokes. Like, they do 8 jokes in 7 minutes, and I'm like, I do 8 jokes in 30 minutes. But that's one way. Another way is if someone gives me a topic, like I've been doing this, what do they call it? Not transcendental. What is it? Proprioceptiveness. One of these words. What is it called? I forget what it's called. It's comedy on the it's funny on the fly. It's just they give you a little bit of time to prepare a set.
Yeah, they give you like
Debbie
minutes.
Millwater's new show at the Comedy Zone, but it's called. There's a word for the type of comedy it is, and I've been throwing it out there for fun, and I forgot it. My brain's dead. Oh well, that sucks. Anyway, that I always feel like I'm good at, but I'm not as good at. I'm working on it. I'm practicing it because I'm forcing a punchline out, and it's better when my brain finds the punchline. For someone else, I can write it for them like that. But yeah, I try writing, but I can only write premises. If I write a whole joke out, I can't read my handwriting later.
Okay.
So, if I have to come up with a joke either for that Funny on the Fly show or for some other reason, like we did a CMT audition, so I wanted to do some country music related material and making fun. That's where the whole joke about moving to the South came from. And I sat at my computer and actually typed that one out and then memorized it. But I don't usually do that. It's an option, but
yeah, you're not a typer. You're more of just a writer.
I'm more of a like write the premise and then talk it out. Like I'd say 90% of my jokes are not fully written out anywhere.
Oh,
they're all in my head. There's a document somewhere in Google Drive that says like school bus, Boston, Hungry Man, bad driver, and it's like, and I know what each of those things mean, or zebra babies,
It's like code. It's just,
eggnog, stranger danger. Yeah, so it's a set list, and so and I've memorized that. I never wrote the whole thing out, so I was actually thinking I wanted to start writing some stuff out, because I've noticed, since I do come from a writing and literature background and editing, and when I actually edit it like it's a piece of work, I find ways to tweak it. The joke is, my friend Jay Bliss told me that the joke is always growing. There's always room for it to transform into something else. And a lot of stuff that I've done started out as a one-liner and is now a 15-minute bit. So you never know where it's going to grow to.
But anyways, also too, when you're traveling and stuff like that, you also have a boyfriend that does comedy.
Yes.
And you guys have traveled and done comedy together.
Yes.
How's that working out?
It's funny because I actually do miss him right now. I said I wasn't going to, because he's been aggravating the crap out of me, because I've been on the road with him a whole bunch lately.
Yeah.
He's been in the Bahamas for a week and a half now. So hard for him. I know, he literally just said, like, sorry, I got to go to the beach, hon. I'm like, yeah, have fun with that. So when he goes away on his own, if it's just like a day or two, it's not a big deal. And if I go away, I'm sure he totally is in his own world. He really is a beautiful mind. Like, he'll just get in his room and he's just like borderline autistic, but he's just in there and in the computer just researching and all this kind of stuff and writing. But when we're together, sometimes it's fun. We always say, we're gonna have fun, this will be a great road trip. Like, we're going to Johnson City, we're going to Greensboro, we're going to Jacksonville, and we'll pack up the car and snacks, and we'll fight over the radio. And the best ones have been when we talk out jokes. Like, he'll have his premise, and then if I'm on that day, I'm like, punch, punch, punch. He's like, oh God, I hate you. Or he'll give me a couple in the same way it goes the other way. We're just in the car thinking about good ideas and kind of brainstorming ideas to do stuff to do with comedy in the community in the future and stuff like that. So it is kind of fun, but once we get to the hotel, it's actually when it gets hard. So being in the car with him, I've never actually been like, I want to kill you in the car. It's like we fight over the radio a little bit, and we just have fun and driving, and he gets mad at me if I'm driving. I'm an awful driver, and I miss exits all the time. But the hotel's hard because it's like that one room.
Yep.
And if for instance I was hosting and he's featuring or something like that, and he gave us 2 rooms, we will totally use our separate rooms and just come back and we'll spend the night together. But we totally just like need away from you. But it's like that. I was talking about that zone you get into when you're getting ready to get on stage and you try to figure out your set list, and someone's just there, like just watching TV and eating popcorn. You're just like, I want to kill you. So we'll try to find some place to go to, and like, all right, I guess I'm going to go downstairs and look at the breakfast that's not there yet. So just being in the same room is kind of hard. All right, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. But you know, like you said, you get plenty of material because you know he's white, you're black.
Oh yeah.
But my girlfriend is black, so
yeah.
It's natural comedy in a
sense.
sense.
It is. It automatically happens. I usually get pissed at him. I don't make fun of him being white so much off stage. So most of it's kind of made up, but he will make fun of me off stage all the time for black stuff. I'm crossing the street, so it was one of those things. He's like, oh my God, you really are black. Or like, if we go to Bojangles or something for real, I'm like, I'm not carrying this chicken out of this restaurant. And I'm not being seen in public with it. He's like, are you serious? But yeah, so he's just started writing some more stuff about me, but mostly just making fun of me being all sassy and fierce.
Like true black ladies.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it is. But anyways, who are some other comedians you think locally that you like booking on these shows and stuff like that?
Oh, locally, my new favorite is Jordan Huggins. He is just a ball of energy, and he found so much more direction and focus and just clarified where he's doing the set now. It's awesome. When he first started, I wasn't really sure what he was doing, but Chesney Goodson's been on the scene for a minute. He's just amazing. You'll never, if you hear a joke that he's done, you still love it, but usually he's just constantly writing, just constantly watching the news, and you can tell he's disgusted with it, but he's making it funny, so it's cool. I like Rebecca Henderson. She's new. She's got like her own real world job that's definitely the majority of her life, but she's got some really smart stuff to say, and it's nice to always have female comics that are there. Let's see, I was like booking. Clint Noor. He's like a vet. He's been on Bob and Tom and all that stuff. We did, and of course Todd Riley and Ryan and I, we all did the Oddball Comedy Fest, which was so cool. We were like, they gave us Perrier. We were backstage just freaking out. Like we went to the going to the mess hall on Oddball Comedy was the coolest comedy moment, I think, next to being on TV. It was like we were like eating filet mignon and like crab, and me and Clint were just like, and everyone else was like, what's going on? We're like, we may never get this again. But yeah, I Chris Layton's great. Yeah, it was a long time. People always yell at me because they're like, well, how come you're not putting me on the show? And I was like, you just put like Chris and Chesney and Clinton and Todd, and I'm like, because they're consistently awesome. I mean, I will take a chance on you every once in a while, but I love all those guys. They're great. Jamie Ward's awesome out of Atlanta, and he'll come up. He loves comedy. He'll travel like 300 miles just for like a 5-minute spot, but he's amazing. He's stupidly funny. He makes me mad. It just seems to come out for him, and he's got such a wandering spirit. He'll actually be doing a show with his friend July 6th, like a Monday. I'm producing that at the Upstage, so that's a good way to get a show produced by me. If I like your comedy, I'm a fan of you, I'll give you a chance. Yeah. I'm like, I don't even care if anyone comes, let's just do this.
Well, as we kind of wind up here, I just wanted to make sure you got some plugs for some local comedians.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And honestly, I mean, I'm sure I've missed some other people.
I'm sure there's you can probably think of 5 before you walk out.
Yeah, and I just honestly, I'm always surprised. I mean, I'm talking about the people I think are like the most consistent that I see the most frequently. You know, there's people that are out of Charlotte, like Jay Bliss and Burpee, that are touring and headlining now. Cliff Cash is out of Wilmington. He's also amazing. Another one that's out of the city, and just. If you don't know, if you want to take a risk on comedy, go to an open mic. Definitely try to show up and support some people, you know. If you want to see a solid, booked show, come out and see an Almost Famous Showcase or anything else that Debbie Millwater is doing, or just anything. Obviously, the professional shows you have to actually pay the real money for at the Comedy Zone, cltcomedyzone.com. You should live on that website. If I wasn't doing comedy and I was just a fan, I would live on cltcomedyzone.com. That and upstagenoda.com. Just see what's coming up, the same way you do like what concerts are coming to town, I'm like, oh, cool, Real Big Fish is coming back. Nobody knows who they are.
I know who they are.
No, really, that was like, I just threw that out of nowhere. I'm not winning black points with that one, but that's good. But yeah, you're like, oh, cool, that's happening. So you gather your friends together and you go out and see a show and you have fun. Same thing should happen for comedy. Unfortunately, it's not as popular in the city, but I'm hoping we have more people like Joe Zimmerman coming out of the city that are now on Comedy Central and Conan.
Yeah, because this isn't a Boston, this isn't a Chicago.
No, but it could be. We could get there. Yeah. I totally think that we can at least get to an Austin or Chicago. So yeah, there's enough people there that are ambitious, and we're definitely growing the talent. We just need more opportunities and more people. Not to toot my own horn, but like me, that are trying to get more people out there on stage.
Do more than just roll in, do your comedy.
It's not a team sport. They keep telling us that it's not. You're not supposed to just be out there only like looking to help everybody else get on with you, But definitely, it's good to help the community because everybody benefits from the community.
It takes a little bit of cooperation.
Absolutely,
but there's that DIY attitude. You do it yourself in a sense. You started the shows just to so you could get more time.
I did. It was totally selfish, and I kind of was like, oh, you guys are funny too. You should get a chance, but it's all about me.
But that's the thing that's being heralded these days.
Yeah,
and being supported a lot more by
there's so much more stuff, especially on YouTube, and I've seen a couple of shows like on FX and stuff. Friends of the People is a great show on FX. You can tell they were just some local like New York comics. They got together, wrote some sketches, and they pitched it. And yeah, you just have to do it. Mindy Kaling is the best example of do it yourself. She was writing on Office and producing and acting, but she got pigeonholed in that one character, and she wanted to do the Mindy Kaling project, and they were like, well, that's a great show. We like that, but we don't see you playing yourself. And so she just fought for herself, and she actually got discovered her and her friend wrote a play, the Mike and Ben, Matt and Ben. It was Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. I was joking off of them because she couldn't get cast in anything, and she was like, let's just do our own thing. It'll be silly. And it got to comedy festivals, and everybody loved it. So yeah, I'm totally a big fan of if there isn't a role out there, make it for yourself. Pave that road, or you won't get anywhere. You'll be sitting there like, why are there any opportunities?
Yeah, it's probably far more democratic than it's been probably ever.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I mean, most people that are booking or producing or the managing, the people that can give you the opportunities, want to see that you care. You don't have to totally kiss ass, but they want to see you're making an effort. So if they see you show up to a show or two, shake their hand and say, I enjoyed that. Thanks for bringing this comic. I liked them. If there's any opportunities or can I show you a video, they will totally listen to you.
Yeah.
People just for some reason are just sitting at home waiting for the phone to ring. I was like, I don't know why they don't call me. And I think that you will usually see women working a little harder. I will argue that because we don't get as many opportunities, and so we have had to kind of fight. So whether they're more deserving of the positions or not, I don't know. But I definitely, you'll see, like, if it doesn't come easy to someone, they'll work a little harder, you know?
But anyways, before we close off, what are your plugs? What do you got coming up? How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah.
All that goodness, right?
All right. The easiest way to get in touch with me is Facebook. I'm not even a real person, and this is just my avatar here right now. I'm always online, and it's my name. It's spelled Blayr Nias, BLAYR Nias. Or if I get closer to getting more friends, I might get 3,000 now. You can like my Facebook page, which is Blayr, same spelling, BLAYR, is seriously funny. And the whole story with the Y, of course, we talked about my mom just being a bitch. Let's make it hard to spell. It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
On Twitter, I'm at Gummy Blayr, spelled BLAYR, and that's because this, like, my gummy smile. So everyone always makes fun of me. We're rolling out a whole bunch of stuff now. I'm going to have stickers with like a big mouth that say Gummy Blayr. I think that's my next project. And you can look for my show, Almost Famous Comedy Show, on the Comedy Zone website here in Charlotte. It'll be once a month. It's usually the last Tuesday or Wednesday, so come see that. And everything else, if you just follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Gummy Blayr, or follow me on Facebook on my fan page, you'll see me promoting all the other shows. So you don't have to even go to Comedy Zone's website or Upstage to see where I'm doing it, or where I'm on the road, or my website. You can just go to Facebook and I'll be like, I'm going to be here. That's the one central place. I wake up and I go to sleep on Facebook. So Facebook for life.
All right, there you go. Well, Blayr, thank you for stopping by. I'm glad we got to put this together. It's been a while in the making.
We did. We made it.
We made it.
We made it happen. Awesome.
So I was super happy when you're like, we're doing it this week.
Yes, we are. It's going to happen.
Check this off the list.
This is productive week. I got a lot done already.
There you go. So thank you for stopping by the home studio.
Yes, no problem. Oh, the beautiful, luxurious.
You're the first one here.
This was fun.
So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. All right. Bye.
There we go.
Cool.